It's Tuesday. Uh, Columnist Paul Krugman has an informative article out today. I think it's going to surprise exactly no one. But it's a very well written, thoughtful, informative article. It's called Donald Trump Has Lost Touch with Reality. Reading from his article, Trump's disconnect from reality is uniquely destructive. No previous president has tried to overturn an election. Check. Sought to use the military against U.S. citizens. Check. Or sought to use the Justice Department as his own personal vendetta machine. The difference is that he's the first president to live in an autocratic bubble, surrounded by a cult of personality within which nobody dares to criticize him, tell him uncomfortable truths, or refuse to engage in blatantly illegal acts. Furthermore, Trump is clearly getting worse, growing even more out of touch with each passing week. Regardless of whether it's advancing age or growing frustration, even Trump, I think, realizes that his efforts to suppress all opposition are running into serious resistance. Putting out an AI video of himself dumping shit on protesters suggests panic, not strength. I would agree with that assessment. But his claims about what's happening in America and the world keep getting stranger and wilder. And Trump's denial of reality is already having devastating consequences for America, with more to come. That's right, kids. It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. I mean, here's the thing. Trump watches, I think the only media that Trump actually takes in on his own, of his own accord, is probably what he sees on Fox News. I don't think he watches anything else. And so just take this past weekend, the No Kings protests, as an example. I mean, we saw, I think it was Jesse Waters, had that former member of Antifa on with the mask and the hat. And it turned out that that guy had been a former member of all kinds of organizations that Jesse Waters had on before. And I think that Donald Trump, because of the people around him and because of the media that he actually is exposed to, he was so convinced that this past Saturday would consist entirely of people on the left literally burning cities to the ground all across the United States, that it was going to be nonstop violence, smashing windows, fighting, attacks, fires, just burning everything to the ground. I think that Donald Trump was 100% convinced that that was going to happen, and that that would allow him to start using the $72 million worth of weapons that ICE has recently purchased, including guided missiles, that the wanton rampaging violence and fires across America last Saturday would finally let him launch guided missiles at Americans. And I think that Sunday he had to have woken up in a state of just utter confusion as to why that didn't happen. Because he lives in an autocratic bubble where the information that he is given is carefully curated by the most batshit craziest people in his administration. I'm 100% convinced that he thought Antifa was going to try to take over the United States last Saturday through violence. And I think he's incredibly confused about why that didn't happen. And he's confused about that because he has dementia and shits his pants.